Jay Bills from Media Spotlight UK, reunited with my man Chase Demoor in the building. I mean, before we get into anything, how crazy was yesterday? How crazy was yesterday? I mean, take me through your emotions. What happened, man?
Man, you're not a stranger to a Chase Demoor press conference. You know, if I'm here, you know the fireworks are going to be out. You know, they didn't have enough security guards, and you know the thing is like my beef is with Tempo Arts, Frankie Freelove. And he's the biggest duck in this room, and I'm pissed off that I have to take my aggression out on such a nice guy in Tank Tolman. But I'm gonna knock Tank Tolman out, and hopefully Tempo Arts somehow finds a way to win this tournament because he can't run forever.
I can see that you've been putting in the work, especially like going internationally. Having fights in Mexico as well. What makes you want to go that active and really push yourself? To build yourself in the pro ranks.
Yeah, for a lot of people that have been following this journey, they know I've always said I'm the best that ever has been, that ever will be. And I think that, the Mexican rounds is a part of any boxer's journey. I didn't have an amateur career, so I got to make up fights in between the misfits fights. And it's a great way to stay active. It's a great way to, keep the ring rust away. And, say what you want about my opponents down in Mexico, but obviously, like Roman Fury fought a guy that the guys I was in Mexico would have beat out easily, so.
I was actually going to ask about, I know you've been probably asked a million times, but the back and forth between you and Roman, at this point, I mean, you said that it's now over. Like you no longer want to have a fight with Roman. How did you see that fight with Roman where you had in Hungary, and where are things now as far as you and the Furies?
Yeah, the thing is the Furies are a bunch of loudmouth idiots, especially with John, the dad, followed by Roman. Here's the thing, is like Tommy, I'm going to go beat up Tom. He's the only one I have interest in, him or Tyson. Either or can get it from me. But, Roman, he's washed. Like, I told the whole world, I watched the world laugh at me saying, you'll never beat up a Fury. And then everybody watched his performance last week, and they saw what I saw the whole time. And, it kind of took the hype away. I'm no longer interested in that. It doesn't bring anything for me. So we're focused on Tommy or Tyson at this point.
So, I mean, obviously, you've been in Misfits for quite some time now, and you've got aspirations to go in pro. I mean, a lot of the heavyweights in, this card, they've been expressing how they want to fight you or, go for the belt. What are your sort of thoughts as far as, the influences, but also where you stand as far as where you want to take your career as far as boxing?
Yeah, the thing is eventually we're going to have to give up the influencer belt because these influencers, let's be so for real, none of them are beating me in here. None of them are young enough, fast enough, big enough. They don't put in the hours. They're not even fighting on other promotions. They're fighting once a year, maybe twice. And, big aspirations for them, but there's going to come a point where I'm just going to have to, vacate the belts, and then they can fight amongst each other. But there's not a single heavyweight in this room that is beating me.
So would you say that, there's only a certain amount of time, like you're carrying the heavyweight belt at the moment, but are you getting to the point that you want to cross over maybe into different promotions in the future, or you're going to stick with Misfits? Like, what are your vibes there?
Yeah, I'm a misfit through and through. They stuck with me when I was terrible, and then obviously I got a lot better, and I would never leave them. They built a name for me, and the only thing I'm looking at is I'm going to move over to the pro division side of it, so that these things start counting on BoxRec, X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to leave it to the younger guys for the influencer titles. But if I'm being honest, if I'm getting beat up by any influencers that's not putting in half the amount of work, that means there's something wrong with my boxing ability, and I shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
And finally, like, in terms of the pro division, like in terms of boxing in general, who ideally would you want to be in the ring with if it's outside of Misfits? Like, what's the vibe in terms of like potential opponents, dream opponents in the future?
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on that Johnny Fisher-Allen fight this weekend. I'd like to get in the ring with Johnny Fisher. I think he's very beatable. I think we match up very well. And, I think he got away with one out there in Saudi in December. So I'll be eager to see what he does this weekend against Allen. But, yeah, those are the guys I want to start with.
Well, I mean, the weigh-in's just about to start. I mean, knowing you, I know there's going to be a lot of potential trash talk, and hopefully, not things are broken in the process. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But what do you want to tell your fans out there for your fight tomorrow?
Yeah, I appreciate all the love and support, guys. As always, the greatest ever has been, the greatest ever will be, the go to this promotion, and I'm going to go take care of business tomorrow night, and I'll see you guys soon.
You got part of the quote from Bret Hart, one of the best to ever do it.
One of the best to ever do it.
Well, Chase, absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best for tomorrow, my bro.
Thank you, brother.